to everyone. This is Shikara here from our sacred space. I and Nipunika will be the hosts for today's session. I would I would like to welcome everyone who's joined here, especially Mateen ma'am, Sameen ma'am, Mr. Roger, and as well as team Our Sacred Space with Nantara ma'am, Najmi ma'am, and Padmini ma'am. So happy to see you all here today. I would like to introduce Our Sacred Space before we begin. Our Sacred Space is a center for folk and classical art, environmental work, sustainable agriculture, sustainable architecture, health, wellness, and inner work. It was founded by Nantara Nandakumar in 2012 in the heart of Sikandrabad. The place is built by using natural materials. The center offers classes, workshops in art, dance, music, yoga, theater, and we also have events and performances that were held here. We were one of the first ones in the city to start an organic market called as Adivaram Angadi on every Sunday since 2014. Chaura, our auditorium, was inaugurated in 2016 with a 500 seating capacity. We have hosted several handloom exhibitions, plays, dance and music festivals, limb donation and blood donation camps. The Telangana Heritage Center of Our Sacred Space in Dharur, Vikarabad district was launched in 2017. The Heritage Center is created to help preserve local agriculture, architectural, and artisanal practices. Since its inauguration, we've had a number of programs and workshops for the local community. We had organized a health camp, summer camp, music and dance performances, film screening, workshops, homestays, and retreat for rural, urban, and international participants at Our Sacred Space, Telangana Heritage Center, Dadu. I would like to now invite Nipunika to talk about the upcoming events at Our Sacred Space.
Hello everyone, these are our upcoming online events and workshops. We have our next tuning in talk on 19 September on the topic How We Kill Creativity in Children by Mr. Jeenan KB. During the week, we have a brush calligraphy workshop on 12th and 13th September, cheesecake workshop on 13th September, 3 p.m. onwards, handwriting classes from 15th September to 15th October every Wednesday and Thursday, PCOS management webinar by Shikhara. We have a Curious Plants workshop on 26th September, Paper Planes Physics and Aerodynamics workshop on 27th September. This is only for kids from age 7 to 14 years old. We have online physics tuitions, yoga classes in the morning, speed cubing classes, shloka classes on the weekends. In languages, we have German and Urdu classes, online martial arts for kids and adults, Kalaripayattu classes on the weekends, Kuchipudi and Odissi dance classes. You can reach out to us on this number for further details. Enjoy the webinar.
Thank you so much, Nipunika. I would like to now invite our founder, Ms. Nayanthara Nandakumar, to speak about the session today and also about the speakers.
The intent of this lecture series is to analyze paradigms of development and explore findings on environment, sustainability, and social justice. The pandemic has been a totally unfamiliar experience for all of us. It has inflicted untold hardship on large sections of our population. And yet, it has thrown open opportunities. Opportunity for introspection, for sharing, and for renewal. Renewal of nature and of the human spirit. Freed from the sick hurry and divided aims of 21st century living, we find ourselves with the leisure to interact deeply with family and loved ones. It is exactly this tendency of human beings that Mateen and Sameen have made their life's work. For many of us, as we adjust to the reality of aging, we tend to feel weaker and irrelevant. but Dobara addresses this very fact of aging. Their objective is to create community across age groups and to catalyze interest in wellness and self-expression. I welcome Mateen and Sameen.
We're delighted to have Mateen Auntie and Sameen Ansari, a mother-daughter team from Dobara, on tuning in. At 40, Mateen Auntie did her MBA, and at 64, her master's in gerontology from the US. As a social gerontologist, she started Dobara in 2014. She's a trained yoga teacher, and her acceptance of challenges and love of life inspires me deeply. Sameen Ansari has a background in brand development and marketing. She has worked in Paris for 15 years and is now based in the Netherlands. She gave Dobara its name and has nurtured it since its inception. Supporting and appreciating Dobara's work is Justice Habib Ansari, former judge of the United Andhra Pradesh. When the lockdown was declared, many people were caught unprepared. Dobara responded swiftly, creating a WhatsApp group for members to feel supported and connected. They organized quizzes, puzzles, exercise routines. They provided a car and driver to take care of doctors' visits and for buying essential goods. Dobara answers what is most needed in our society today. With aged parents living away from their children, the need for a caring, supportive space where they can connect with old friends and make new friends is the most urgent need. Thank you for Dobara. Welcome.
Thank you so much, both of you. What a wonderful introduction. We're so honored to be here with you. I guess we'll start. Just wanted to check, Roger, are we recording? Yeah. So, well, I'll start now. Finally, I have been working with Dobara since its inception. And like you said, my mother gives me all the credit for coming up with the name. And Dobara means once again. And since March this year, I have literally been a full-time volunteer, you can say that. And it has been a truly rewarding journey for me. And I'm so happy to be here with you to talk about the topic of active aging. Now, we live in a world where people live longer than ever before. No group of humans has ever had this kind of expansion of life expectancy. A report released by the UN Population Fund and HelpAge India suggests that the number of elderly people is expected to grow to 173 million by 2026. Now, this means that there is an increasing need on awareness about all aspects of aging and the creation of age-friendly environments. By investing our efforts wisely, we can turn our senior population into a resource because their contributions can be quite valuable, whether it's in their own family, their local community, or to society as a whole. And societies that adapt to this changing demographic and invest in healthy and active aging, they can enable individuals to live longer, more fruitful, healthier, and happier lives. According to the UN, the share of older people aged above the age of 60 in India is projected to increase to nearly 20% by 2050. Now, the goal is to equip people from an early age with knowledge, awareness, and resources so that we can all work together and help our seniors remain in good health and stay involved in the community throughout the process of aging. Now, there are three main areas that need to be focused on, right? older persons and infrastructure development, advancing health and well-being into old age, and ensuring the presence of supportive environments for aging. A good example of this concept of age-friendly spaces is, well, a good example of the problem with the concept of age-friendly spaces is with regards to restaurants and cafes. And we'll take Hyderabad as an example. Every time there is a cool new restaurant, our seniors get very excited about it. Because it's exciting, why not? But then the questions come up. Is this place easy to access? Does it have steps? Can we go there with walkers and wheelchairs? And unfortunately, usually the answers are always no. It's so important for our entrepreneurs out there to keep this demographic in mind. We've seen the numbers and the future predictions of growth in this market segment. This is an essential demographic that is constantly feeling left out and ignored. Think about them. Keep them in mind when you are planning your spaces and projects. Put in accessible ramps, create senior days or times, put in senior discounts. Do what you can to make them feel included. I'm going to, Shikara, can I ask you to please put up the first image on the shared screen, please?
Yes, sure. 1 second.
Is there a problem with the audio? I got a message saying we can't hear. Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. There's a network issue at my end. I'm sorry. So yeah, so perfect. So we feel so strongly about the concept of age-friendly spaces, senior-friendly spaces, that we are working on a Dobara review and recommendation system where we can give our stamp of approval to places which qualify as being senior-friendly. It is so important to be inclusive, and we hope that this Dobara stamp of approval and our talk today encourages businesses to really start taking the needs of their senior customers into consideration. If you have a business that's senior friendly, please get in touch with us. Tell us about it. We would be happy to find out more about it, and we will get our Dobara seniors to review it and tell the world about it. Thank you, Shikara. We can stop the screen share. Now we are going to talk about ageism. Does everybody know what this word is? Have you come across it before? Oh well, it's right up there with the other isms. It's basically referring to prejudice or discrimination because of age, and we are all guilty of doing it, whether it's in our language, our sense of humor, or just in general. We tend to think of old as a bad word, and there's a belief that aging is inevitably associated with significant mental decline and deterioration. Now, according to researchers, psychologists, and neuroscientists, this belief is wrong. Maybe aging is not what you think it is. In the absence of major illness or disease, the mental effects of aging are actually restricted to a few specific cognitive processes, such as fluid processing and speed. Now, I'm sure many of us have experienced this in our lives, but my dad and I, we often watch old black and white movies together. And sometimes he has trouble remembering the name of an actor. And this is when I jump in to help out and go on to Google real quick. But then that's when he's like, okay, calm down, be patient with me. Like the name is there somewhere, but it'll come. And I think it's because his Rolodex of information is just so much more comprehensive that it takes time. It'll come, but it might take a few days. So We've all experienced this. But there are other aspects of mental life that remain quite stable. And then there are some aspects that even improve through the process of aging. So I think it's time we change the way we think about old age. We really need to grow out of our negative expectations, perceptions, and preconceived notions. And we need to move on from the idea that aging is a social burden. We really need a new way to think about age. Now, changing the way you think won't just help those around you, it may just change the way that you yourself age. And we all know positive thinking is vital for positive health. And our minds are so powerful. How we think about life, how we think about aging, these thoughts can really influence the way our bodies react. So let's not look at aging as a form of decline. Let's look at it instead at what it actually is. It is a transformation. We need to be aware that life doesn't come to a halt after retirement. Your value in this world does not decrease after your kids get married and move away. And life doesn't have to end at 60, at 70, or at 80. There's right now, especially in India, I don't know, maybe everywhere else, I don't know, but we realize there is no real plan or roadmap for life after 60. Like there's no booklet of instructions. This is all relatively new terrain that we are exploring. And we can look at aging as it's a bit like space. We all know it exists, but big chunks of it are still a huge mystery to us. This, however, is good news. This means that there's a whole world out there for us to discover, and together we can champion this discovery because, let's face it, we're all aging. At any given moment, we are all aging. It isn't just a process of growing up and then you grow down. No, it's an ongoing transformation. The way we deal with it and approach it is what will make the difference. So what we need is a young generation that is willing to take action for a better future and take control of our society. And a big part of that right now is ensuring that we get through this pandemic with no elder left behind. Now, before we continue, I would like to introduce a very special guest who is joining us all the way from Portland, Oregon. Roger Anjansen. Now, he is a pioneer in the field of memory and aging since 2001. Roger is a brain health educator, cognitive intervention designer, author, and in 2018, he was named the US's top adjunct college instructor by the Academy for Gerontology in Higher Education. Take it away, Roger.
Thank you, Sameen, and I am so excited about this morning. And I'll be sharing some really exciting evidence-based good news about your brain. But right now, I've asked for a few minutes to say a few words as to why I got up at 4:30 a.m. to be with you. My reason to get up in the morning is very easy, and that's Mateen. Now, I first met Mateen as an outstanding student of mine in a brain science course that I teach in Oregon, and that was nearly a decade ago. And I specifically recall how passionate she was about this vision to change things back in India. She wanted to reimagine aging, but before she went back to India, she wanted to learn all she could about the field of aging. Mateen's vision is now real, and it's Dobara. Now, over the years, I've had the honor of witnessing Mateen and her creative team of volunteers as they put together programs that made positive differences in real lives. Real people were affected in a way that they could count on to make them healthier, bond them with other people. Now, I'm especially excited about the future of Dobara because of this pandemic. It's a silver lining. They found a way to make the best out of this, and they came up with what you'll hear about today, and that's virtual well-being. And it's a model that I believe positions Dobara to help people throughout India. And I believe that Dobara can become a model for the rest of the world. So get ready to envision how you might be able to help create the future of aging in India by joining this team at Dobara. And if you know someone who might benefit from sampling what you're going to hear about today, ask them to put their toe in the water. So at this point, I want you to hear from Mateen. So Mateen, are you ready to tell us about your incredible journey?
Thank you, Roger. My apologies for making your day start so early. I met Roger when I first started out in the field of gerontology. His lectures were always captivating and inspiring. Roger has been a big support to us in the preparation of this talk. We are very happy to have you with us today, Roger.
Thank you.
About my journey, as I was approaching the age of 50, I realized I was curious to know what aging is all about. What is this new era that I am stepping into? With this in mind and a natural curiosity and love of learning, I approached Jan Abushakra, the head of aging studies at Portland Community College in Oregon. This was a life-changing experience for me. The department exuded exuberance, and I felt, yes, this is my calling. With my yoga certification from India, yes, I am a yoga teacher, I was linked to various senior centers to give yoga sessions tailored to the specific needs of seniors. Active aging had started working on me, with yoga sessions in multiple places, running around with the grandchildren, studying to submit assignments on time. I found myself a bundle of energy and curiosity, with a passion to learn more and more about all aspects of aging. I was exceptionally drawn to the social aspect of aging. So I took courses in activities management for senior citizens, and with an activity consultant certification under my belt from Portland Community College, I felt the need to pursue a master's in gerontology to fine-tune my learning. I got into the University of Southern California School of Gerontology, and one of my professors is listening in today. With a scholarship, I completed a 2-year intensive master's program in the management of aging services. Upon completion of this degree in 2014, at age 64, I felt the need to return with this newfound knowledge to my elders in India. Here I am, a social gerontologist. My distinctive shock of white hair, I'm talking to you about Dobara and the joy of aging and growing up. For many of you listening and watching, social gerontology might be a new term. Our hope is that you might consider gerontology, or specifically social gerontology, as a career path. It could be a first-time career, or for many in the audience, it could be continuing education. It's a Dobara for new learning, and why not? We are never too old to learn something new. If you would like to get in touch with us and learn more about gerontology, courses, careers, continuing education, guidance, tips and tricks, please do get in touch with us. Being a social gerontologist, you can impact the life of elders in many ways. The emotional stability becomes the main fulcrum to handle all issues related to physical health and psychological health. Emotional stability comes from social interaction. This emphasizes the importance of socializing, making friends, meeting up, bonding, the feeling of community and the feeling of belonging, which is one of the main goals of Dobara. You may wonder what or how Dobara functions. Let me tell you, Dobara is not an old age home. Dobara is not a senior center. It is not a location or a building, but it is much more. Developed over the past 6 years with empathy and care, it is India's first senior well-being network based in Hyderabad. To give you a better visual idea, we would like to share a video created by our Dobara members during this lockdown. It is our lockdown memory video, very lovingly put together by 2 young Dobara members, Maurya and Madhur, both film students. It is a perfect example of intergenerational collaboration. The video is titled Dobara Is. Kindly show the video, Shikara.
Sure.
Yeah. The video, please.
Dobara. The word itself is very meaningful. God has given us second inning, second chance to live the way we want.
Dobara is togetherness, compassion, spreading kindness, being a rainbow in someone's cloud.
Dobara is into many activities, especially getting to know the problems of seniors and super senior citizens.
Dobara is making life relevant for our elders. Relevant and meaningful. Once again, Dobara.
Freedom to look forward to a happier day. Freedom to believe that life doesn't stop at 60, 70 or 80. Freedom to think positive. And lastly, freedom to hope.
Dobara to me is a sacred place where there is a lot of fun-filled activities, and it helps me to connect with loving, caring friends.
Dobara is a patchwork family.
तुम कहकशां हो सितारों के यानी आकाश गंगा, हर उम्र के, हर जमाने के, हर मजहब के, हर रंगत के एक दूसरे से जुड़े रहे, हर खुशी गम में जुड़े रहे.
With age comes great wisdom. Let's all share it. Dobara helps you redefine the experience of aging.
I feel very much appreciated and valued at Dobara. I made a lot of friends at Dobara. Now all people are very friendly. And during the most difficult time of my life, during quarantine, I never felt alone.
Dobara is togetherness.
In pursuit of giving, spreading happiness, that is Dobara for you.
At old age, being with your family also will feel lonely. This is where Dobara pitches in.
Dobara is bridging the generational divide for mutual growth. Dobara is rebirth, revival, re-energizing.
Each letter represents something very deep. D represents diversity. O, opportunity. B, blessings. A, action-packed. R, respectful. A, awesome.
God bless Dobara and its team of selfless volunteers for thinking beyond themselves.
Dobara gives us the message, Dobara, Jio, Shan, Se.
Our focus at Dobara is on social, mental, and physical support for all aspects of aging. We encourage seniors to stay active by using their knowledge and experience to help others in need. We are all about creating that silver reservoir and tapping into its rich resources. We encourage intergenerational interactions and bonding, having many young volunteers who helped out their senior mentors with IT and tech support. In turn, these senior friends help them with projects, stories, ideas, and guidance. It is a beautiful exchange. We provide support and encouragement to caregivers and also work as community partners and problem solvers when it comes to caring for an elder. We are constantly updating our database of resources and are working on raising awareness about active aging and the importance of viewing our elders as assets in today's world. Every Wednesday since 2016, we host Wednesday Wellbeing programs at SSRDC by Dr. Yeldanti. Here we have created an awesome concept of senior recreation and daycare. And we are all looking forward to picking up our programs where we left off in March this year due to the pandemic. Intergenerational activities with schools happen with us. We work with Aga Khan International School, the Hyderabad Public School, Medina Group of Educational Institutions, and MESCO. We have a group called Sunshiners by Dobara. It is all women, all movers and shakers. We have partnerships with old age homes where we visit with our member volunteers and host well-being activities, events, programs. And sometimes we just like to go and visit and sit around and chat. We have in memoriam programs where we help families distribute food or provide for the less fortunate in memory of their loved ones. We visit the children's cancer wards and do our best to bring some light into the lives of these young patients. Dobara is a great source of comfort to those who live abroad and worry about their elders. They know that they can count on the support of our Dobara senior network to make sure their loved one does not feel isolated. We host yoga for seniors, trips to the mall or the Numaish, which is our annual exhibition, visits to private museums, carom afternoons, workshops on Ikebana, mandala art, other arts and crafts, lectures on a variety of subjects, picnics to parks that meet the Dobara stamp of approval for senior-friendly spaces, day trips to farmhouses, fundraising events, and more. Dobara is a happening well-being platform. There's always something planned for our members to look forward to, never a dull moment. We have a large team of senior volunteers who thrive on giving back to society and making a positive difference in the world today. We give seniors a platform to network, to connect, and to share their wisdom and talent. Dobara is a medium to find a new purpose in life and a community of encouraging and supportive friends. Dobara is all about positive connections and holistic well-being.
I'm going to jump in here, Ma. When we speak of holistic well-being, a lot of people wonder, what does that mean? What is holistic here? Well, we'll give you an example. Now, first of all, imagine you go to the gym every day, and every day is just leg day. You just work out your legs, but you work out diligently, but just your legs. Now, imagine the result of that. That would be an extremely unbalanced, uneven result. Now, if we put this into the context of aging, it might make more sense now, because we are so currently focused on just developing and working on the medical aspect of aging that we're forgetting the rest of it, the emotional, the social, and the mental aspects of it. The point of healthy and active aging is to avoid the frequent trips to the doctor. The point is to do our best to not let aging become a deterioration of ourselves. And Dobara was created to offer positive options for our elders, or soon-to-be elders, to combat the negativity associated with aging and to proactively work on doing it right. And I think our focus is on quality. That's what we're looking for. We're focused on keeping up with every single aspect of well-being so that we make sure that our seniors are aware of the assets that they are and that they are not treated as a liability or a wallflower. Now, my mother just went through this long list of awesome programs and well-being things that Dobara normally does. But all of them had to come to a halt in March this year. Now, the whole world went into lockdown mode. And I have to say, I'm very thankful. I was in India when this happened with my parents. So I'm so glad I was there. Because what I realized is my mother was really struggling with not being able to continue the Dobara well-being programs. She was genuinely worried about the health and well-being of all her friends. So in order to ease my mother's tensions, I worked with her on what has now become our Dobara virtual well-being program. This program started off in the 1st of April, I think. We started working on it in March, but we launched it on the 1st of April. And what we did was essentially to adapt our regular activities and try and fit them into an online format. And for this, what we do is we rely completely on WhatsApp, as Nayanthara told you earlier. It is such a good media to work with because our seniors are comfortable with it. They can access their messages anytime at their convenience, and it's not an additional form of stress. So the goal of creating this well-being program online was to have something meaningful, something inclusive, accessible, and something that would ease anxiety and distract from the current disaster going on around us. We wanted to make sure that people did not go into a deep, dark hole, which is extremely difficult to climb out of. And we wanted to stave off the feelings of isolation and loneliness, and we did it in the best way we could figure out. Shikara, can I ask you to please pull up image number 2, please?
Sure.
Yeah. So we started off with a modest 15-day virtual well-being program. And now we just today we're actually celebrating 157 days of virtual well-being with Dobara.
Just sorry to interrupt. Are you able to see my screen?
I can see your screen,
okay,
but I can't see the image.
You cannot see the image?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll try that once again.
This is totally normal with Zoom. This is totally normal. No, don't worry. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. I'm not able to. It says your screen sharing is paused. I'm wondering why. Now, yeah, I think this is. Yes. Please go ahead.
It doesn't matter. You can pull it up whenever you can pull it up. Okay. Well, it's just an image of the entire Dobara team, so it's fine. So what we do on our virtual wellbeing program is we host daily activities with themes, brain games, puzzles. And what we've done is we've subtly incorporated all of our different therapies and put them into this weekly schedule. Sorry, did somebody say something?
No, please.
Yeah, okay. Please, okay. So we have laughter therapy, reminiscence therapy, music and art therapy, and of course we have our daily brain challenges. And the whole point of all of these activities is to think outside our comfort zone and to not stay in a stagnant pond. Essentially, it's to constantly be active. We have also got smaller clubs that have grown from this big one that we started, and it's awesome because there's one that I really love. It's the Dobara Crochet Club. I'm a big fan of this because I have suddenly become a pro at crocheting in the last 2 months. We also have an Antakshri club, and another thing, we have a very competitive quiz team. So if you guys are looking to challenge, we are ready. Like, bring it on is what they say. We also host a weekly tombola game every Sunday at 3 p.m. It's all on WhatsApp. And the special bonus on this one is that the prizes are sponsored by some very cool brands. So that's awesome as well. Basically, we are all, including our members, me too, personally, we're all very happy to have this distraction. And we have the constant 24/7 company. And the reason for this is we have members all over the world and in every time zone. So that makes it really quite wonderful, because if you are in India and you're feeling a little chatty at 3 a.m. in the morning, well, not to worry, there'll be somebody who will be feeling chatty right back. So it's wonderful. We're so happy with the success of this virtual well-being model that we would like to expand and spread this goodness to others. So if you are interested in joining, or even better, if you want to host your own virtual well-being WhatsApp group, please get in touch with us. We would be so happy to expand and to grow with you. I'm going to now pass this on to Mama.
Dobara is a non-profit organization. And as Sameen just told you, the main strength of Dobara is its volunteers who consistently provide support and help us organize our fabulous programs. Our active seniors are themselves our volunteers in many ways, giving back to society in a big way. We work on building self-esteem, self-confidence, finding a new ikigai, a reason to get out of bed every morning with a purpose. The goal is that our members go out and help other seniors who might not be as fortunate. We are growing our database of volunteers to help us continue building our database, volunteers to help us. And with this ever-growing community of elders, I would now like our special guest, Roger, to talk to you about your brain as a volunteer. Why is it beneficial to volunteer? Roger?
Thank you very much, Mateen. That question is important, and I'm a proud volunteer for Dobara and have been for years, and I always ask Mateen, how can I help? What could I say in a few minutes? And I hope we have some of the volunteers, Mateen, who are watching, because when you volunteer, something happens that it isn't magic, but it may as well be until it's actually studied. What are the benefits, the brain health benefits of Dobara's team of volunteers? Well, listen carefully, because that question, what are the benefits of volunteering to the brain, was the challenge of the Baltimore Aging Study over a decade ago. And here's what they did. They took a cohort of people who volunteered for a brain study. They had no idea what the study was about. Now, let me explain the methodology of these types of studies. The group is recruited. Half of the group simply do what they always do. The other half gets an intervention. It could be food, it could be sleep, it could be lack of sleep, it could be something that's different from the other group. In this case, they wanted the group that they're studying to volunteer. Now, before the study starts, they take markers, biomarkers. Those are markers like a watermark, and see what happens after you intervene. So after the biomarkers and tests and cognitive tests, they then assigned them to the two groups. The intervention was volunteering. So is volunteering going to be something that can benefit the volunteers? So here's what the volunteers did. They went on a regular basis to a grade school near their home and read to a youngster who was having trouble reading. And week after week, they volunteered their time. They invested their time into a youngster. And the youngster's reading got better, but they weren't studying that. They were studying the person who is volunteering. After the study was over, they took the same biomarkers that are everything that's healthy of the body and the brain, and they compared it with the first tests and biomarkers in the second. Now, the group that was called the control group that didn't get the intervention, they didn't have any change that was noticeable at all over the period of time, but the group that volunteered went off the charts and were healthier in multiple biomarkers. They declared victory. And then something happened that once in a while happens with the study. The researchers had their data. They had thanked all the volunteers for working with them. And the volunteers went back to their lives, but they felt out of balance. They were missing something. And then the researchers heard this. It was a knock on their door. The volunteers were calling them up and saying, can't we continue? Can we please continue? We feel we were better off doing that. They realized that it was something that had happened in their brain that was beneficial. And so several big organizations took over the project, and it still continues today, not as a study, but as the Experience Corps, CORP, like the Marine Corps or the Peace Corps. Those elders and volunteers who go in and read to a child still benefit. And you Dobara volunteers, you may not know it, but every moment that you invest in helping one of the elders, it helps your brain. And that's what I call the Dobara bonus. So I want to encourage everyone to listen carefully to this opportunity, because the opportunity is here to help out in whatever fashion you can. And there are opportunities that are going to grow because, as I said earlier, I believe this is a model for the entire world, not just during this pandemic era, but beyond. So thank you very much for having me come in and really witness a change in people's mindsets, that you're going to be able to do something to help another person, but you're also keeping your brain nice and healthy.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you so much, Roger. Well, yeah, you explained it really, really well. Yeah, with all of this in mind, with everything we've just heard, you can see that there's a lot to learn about aging. And obviously at Dobara, we have several programs and options, and we would love to have you all join us as volunteers. Because our volunteers then eventually just become our members, and I mean, we're all aging, so it doesn't really matter. Especially now during this bizarre world situation, we as humans, I mean, again, Nayantara said it so well in the beginning, we've really begun to value our time and human connection a lot more. So if you do have some time, we would love it if you would invest it with us. Obviously, most of our current positions right now are remote working positions, so that's awesome. You can be anywhere in the world and you can help out. Obviously, we do need you to have an internet connection and a big heart. You can check out all this information is on our website, and if you have questions, we'll try and answer them as best as we can. Even a small gesture of kindness can have a really lasting impact. So if you are in the mood to do something meaningful, please get in touch with us. What we're hoping this starts off a ripple effect, that you share this takeaway from this talk today with other people, that you reach out to other seniors, and that you begin thinking seriously about active aging for yourself and what you can do to be a healthy senior. By encouraging and empowering ourselves and our elders, we can end up making a big difference in many lives. And this is our chance to be part of a long-lasting legacy. Now, after listening to Roger's volunteering spiel, I'm sure everyone's like, oh, very motivated to go do something now. So we have two options. One of the first ones is a very simple one. If you haven't already done it, if you're in an apartment complex or a neighborhood, just let seniors know that you're there for them. If you haven't met a senior or if you haven't been introduced to them, reach out, obviously social distancing, and make sure to take all precautions, but exchange numbers with them. Let them know you're there, because that's the very first step in pulling someone out from feeling isolated. Another one, and this one's a fancy one, we told our seniors about this talk, and we started brainstorming, and they were like, we want to do a challenge, a Dobara challenge. And our seniors, I mean, they're quite aware of social media trends and viral challenges and stuff. And they were like, we want to come up with one. So after a little back and forth, where they came up with something called hashtag Dobara Magic Moments. So our Dobara seniors challenge all of you to go out and find innovative ways to engage with your seniors, or if you're seniors, then to engage with juniors. And the idea is to create new memories with them. Now, obviously, this can be done in multiple ways. The list is endless, but here are a few examples. You can recreate photos from your past. You know, you find a photo and you try and recreate it just today, or share a multi-generational photo with a nice little story or an interview. Get your elders to revisit old albums and tell you stories about them. Or you could even share lessons that you have learned from a senior that you admire. Basically, there's many options out there. The list is endless. The idea is to put our elders in the spotlight, and you never know, your posts might inspire others to engage with their elders too. I'm going to ask Nipunika, can we put up slide 3, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Right, so obviously you can tell by the wording, Roger helped us with figuring out what to call it. So it's Dobara hashtag moments. Please don't forget to use the hashtag. And the tagline is, invest some of your time to make a deposit in an elder's memory bank, because it will pay dividends for perhaps the rest of your life. Now, my ma has a lovely story that she would like to share with you about this. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Mateen.
Sameen, I have a question for you before that.
Okay.
Is there an opportunity for a senior to share a magic moment they experienced with a youngster?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So I'm getting emotional now, but here is my magic moment. I want to share it right away. It happened when my daughter, yes, Sameen, you stepped up to help me with the Dobara virtual well-being program. A big thank you to you and the entire Dobara family for supporting our virtual well-being program and making it a huge success that it is today. Thank you, family. Honestly, we are truly blessed with amazing, enthusiastic, fantastic members of all ages at Dobara. I want to share a good example of a magic moment which happened just the other day. I'm not taking names, it's just the story. This is the story of a blind lady who has 78 years of experience playing the piano. She has never read any notes, just plays by the ear. A great source of comfort and entertainment with her music for all of us at Dobara. During this lockdown with virtual well-being programs, she felt a little left out, lonely, a little out of sorts. One of our observant young member decided to get her an Alexa. You can imagine her thrill. Her world changed. It has grown in so many ways. This thoughtful gesture by our young member is a perfect example of a Dobara magic moment. Now, many of our experienced wise seniors are curious about Alexa, and our musician friend is so happy to be tech savvy and a little ahead of the curve. She wants to talk about it to everyone. That's my magic moment sharing with you.
Oh, that's an awesome story. I like that. Well, we hope that this talk motivates you to change the way you all think about aging, to start practicing active aging for yourself, and to reach out to other elders around you. Become a source of strength and encouragement to others, because we are not in this alone. Let's work together to make aging super cool and something that we all approach with great enthusiasm.
We have all heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, here at Dobara, we firmly believe that it also takes a village to help our elders age successfully, with grace, and with dignity. Thank you for being with us, friends.
Nipunika, we'll put up the last slide, please. Thank you so much. I think that's it from all of us, you guys. It was, thanks for joining us. Here's our contact information. If anyone is feeling very excited about joining, this is the moment. It's been a pleasure to work with Roger as well. So thank you for joining us, Roger.
Thank you, Professor Aaron Hagedorn. He's from Texas.
I would like to invite our founder, Ms. Nayantara Nandakumar, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much. It was the most meaningful talk we've had on tuning in. My aunt would like to say a few words before we sign off.
I'm amazed at the variety of innovative ways you have of helping seniors, Mateen, like not just social, mental and physical support, sensitizing the younger generation, recreation for elders and visiting old age homes, and this network of volunteers. In summary, Dobara seems to be about being a good human being. With special emphasis on the needs of the elderly. I wish you all the best in this really noble venture. Bye.
You should rope her in, Mateen. She is really good, you know. Anyone who wants to know about plants and trees, she's a go-to person.
That's it. We have our first new member volunteer joined after this talk, huh?
No, I've always felt that exercise and diet were more important, but you've added the importance of the mental and social support.
Perfect. Thank you, Padmini. I'm honored that you're here with us.
I enjoyed it thoroughly, inspired.
I hope when we can meet in person that we can have many more Wednesdays here at our sacred space with Dobara. And I strongly encourage all our friends at our sacred space to consider volunteering at Dobara. I think it would be the most meaningful, and I think for our city as you know, a caring community, I think Dobara really is a ray of hope. Every day we see news that distresses us, and then we see, you know, work that Dobara is doing every single day. I see it on my WhatsApp. So my heart is warmed. I feel hope for humanity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much. That is so kind. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Good night.
Stay connected.
Yes, please stay safe. Very important. Stay healthy.